Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the world's most fascinating mysteries. Today, we're embarking on a journey into a tale of immense treasure, a forgotten king and the chilling supernatural guardians said to protect it. This is the legend of the haunted treasure and the lost chest of a king. King Alaric wasn't just rich. He possessed a collection of jewels, gold, and artifacts so magnificent it was said to rival the heavens themselves. But with great wealth comes great fear. Alaric was obsessed with the idea that his enemies, both seen and unseen, coveted his treasure. He trusted no one, not his guards, not his advisors, not even his own family. As he grew older, this paranoia consumed him. He decided that his treasure must be hidden away, not just from mortal hands, but from the passage of time itself. He sought out the darkest corners of his kingdom, consulting with mystics and sorcerers who practiced forbidden arts. He wasn't looking for a simple hiding place. He was looking for a supernatural fortress, a tomb for his wealth that would be guarded for eternity. The legend says Alaric commissioned the creation of a massive iron-bound chest, intricately carved with cryptic symbols and runes of binding. This wasn't just a container. It was a vessel designed to hold not only his riches but also the very essence of its guardians. The location he chose was a place already steeped in dark lore labyrinth of caves deep within the Shadowfang Mountains. A place locals believed was a gateway to the spirit world. Here's where the story takes a truly terrifying turn. Alaric, using rituals lost to history, did not hire guards. Instead, he is said to have sacrificed his most loyal and most feared captains through a dark ceremony. Their spirits were allegedly bound to the chest itself. They were transformed into spectral sentinels, forever cursed to patrol the silent, dark caverns. Their sole purpose to protect the King's gold from any soul brave or foolish enough to seek it. These weren't just any ghosts. The tales describe them as something more, phantoms twisted by dark magic, their ethereal forms clad in the armor they wore in life. They don't just scare intruders, they actively hunt them. Whispers passed down through generations speak of their moans echoing through the mountain passes on stormy nights, a mournful, chilling sound that warns everyone to stay away. For centuries, the treasure was forgotten, a mere fairy tale told to frighten children. King Alaric's kingdom crumbled, his name faded into obscurity, and the location of the Shadowfang Caves was lost from all maps. The chest and its ghostly protectors were left to the silence of the earth. That is, until the late 18th century, when a daring explorer and historian named Elias Thorne stumbled upon a tattered, half-burnt journal. It was the personal diary of one of King Alaric's court scribes. The fragmented entries spoke of the king's madness, the creation of an eternal vault, and vague directions toward a mountain that bites the sky. Thorne became obsessed. He dedicated his life to deciphering the clues, convinced that this was no mere legend. After years of research, Thorne and his small expedition team pinpointed a possible location in a remote, uncharted mountain range. The locals they encountered warned them away with stories of vengeful spirits and a weeping cave from which no one ever returned. Ignoring these warnings as local superstition, Thorne and his men ventured into the mountains. What they found was a network of caves, just as the legends described. The entrance was partially hidden behind a waterfall, and the air inside was unnaturally cold. As they ventured deeper, their lanterns flickered wildly, and strange disembodied whispers seemed to follow them through the winding tunnels. According to the sole survivor of the expedition, a young man named Finn, they eventually found it in a vast central cavern. Sitting on a natural stone dais was a colossal iron chest. It was exactly as the scribe's journal had described, covered in strange symbols that seemed to shift and writhe in the flickering torchlight. A palpable aura of dread emanated from it. As Thorne approached, a sudden, bone-chilling cold swept through the cavern. The whispers intensified, coalescing into guttural groans of anger. From the shadows surrounding the chest, spectral figures began to materialize. They were tall and menacing, their forms translucent, wearing the ancient armor of Alaric's royal guard. Panic erupted. The expedition team turned to flee, but the Guardians were swift and merciless. Finn, who was at the back of the group, described watching in horror as the phantoms moved through his companions. They didn't use their swords in a physical sense. Instead, as they passed through the men, the explorers would scream and collapse, their faces frozen in masks of pure terror. It was as if their very life force was being drained away. He barely made it out alive, collapsing at the edge of the forest, where he was found days later by local hunters, babbling incoherently about shadow soldiers and a cursed chest. He was forever changed, his mind shattered by the ordeal. He spent the rest of his life in an asylum, drawing the same image over and over. A dark chest and the terrifying, glowing eyes of its guardians. For another century, no one dared to venture back into the Shadowfang Mountains. The story became a cautionary tale for treasure hunters worldwide, but the allure of unimaginable wealth is a powerful one. In the 1980s, a well-funded modern team of paranormal investigators and adventurers decided to take on the challenge. Equipped with state-of-the-art technology, thermal cameras, EMF detectors, and audio recording devices, they were determined to document the supernatural guardians and, if possible, retrieve the chest. Their documentary footage, though highly controversial and often dismissed as a hoax, is deeply unsettling. As they enter the cave system, their equipment goes haywire. The audio is filled with static and what experts call electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs. Clear phrases can be heard, including "get out," "it is ours," and a blood-curdling "you will join us." The thermal cameras captured something even more disturbing. Cold spots, shaped like human figures, could be seen moving through the caverns, converging on the team's position. The investigators reported feeling intense nausea, sudden irrational fear, and the sensation of being watched by dozens of unseen eyes. The climax of their footage shows them entering the main cavern. The chest is there, just as Finn had described it. Almost immediately, their lead investigator screams and drops his camera. The final few frames of the recovered footage are a chaotic blur. But for a split second, a translucent armored figure is visible, its ghostly face contorted in a silent scream. The team retreated, leaving much of their expensive equipment behind. They had no treasure, but they had captured what they claimed was definitive proof of the supernatural guardians. Of course, skeptics argue that the EVPs are just audio pareidolia, and the thermal images are anomalies caused by rafts and moisture in the cave. But the team members themselves were adamant about what they experienced. They spoke of a malevolent intelligence, a coordinated defense by entities bound to protect the treasure at any cost. So, what is the truth? Is there really a king's ransom in gold hidden deep within a mountain, guarded by the tormented souls of his sacrificed soldiers? Or is it all just an elaborate folktale embellished over centuries, feeding on our primal fears of the dark and the unknown? Perhaps the curse is the legend itself. The story of the haunted treasure ensures that only the most reckless or greedy will ever seek it out. And in doing so, they venture into a dangerous, unstable cave system where natural hazards could easily be mistaken for a supernatural attack. Maybe King Alaric's greatest trick wasn't binding spirits to his chest, but creating a story so terrifying that no one would ever dare to claim his wealth. The lost chest of King Alaric remains unfound, its location a mystery. The spectral guardians, if they exist, continue their eternal watch in the cold, silent darkness. And maybe that's for the best. Some treasures, it seems, are not meant to be found. What do you think? Is this a genuine paranormal case or a clever legend designed to protect a hidden hoard? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this chilling adventure. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.